Okay. So in today's class, with respect of arithmetic mean, here there is a question which is given to you. In this question, if you observe, the marks of the students are like 0 to 10, 10 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50, and 50 to 60. If we observe the class intervals, under the first class, the class width is 10. That is nothing but 0 to 10 means only 10 numbers are there. But when I come to the second class, if you observe, the numbers are like 10 to 30. So 10 to 30 means here 20 observations are there. That is from number 10 to number 30. So 20 observations are there. Wherein again here 30 to 40, 10 observations are there. And again here 10 observations are there. Then again here 10 observations are there. That means here is the class width the same? That means the question, the answer to that is no. The class width of the all class intervals are not the same. That is, in the second class, the class width is 20, but comparatively other classes, the class width is 10. So in that circumstances, here, how to calculate arithmetic mean in case of class width are unequal? There is a solution to you. We cannot directly calculate the arithmetic mean. In that circumstances, what is the solution, sir? Very simple. The solutions will be like this. That is nothing but you have class interval and frequencies are there. So the class intervals is 0 to 10. I'll write the same first, 0 to 10. Then you have 10 to 30. Then you have 30 to 40. Then 40 to 50. 30 to 40, 40 to 50. Then the next class is 50 to 60. So this is the class intervals and the frequencies are known to you already. The frequencies are 10, then 60, then it is 50, then it is 40, then it is 20. So these are the frequencies. So whenever the class width are unequal, the first and foremost duty is to convert the unequal class interval into equal class interval. So without converting unequal class interval into equal class interval, we can't solve the problem. Therefore, first convert the unequal class interval into equal class interval. So how to convert that? Very simple. The class intervals can be converted as 0 to 10. So the entire this 10 to 30, whatever is there, I will split it into two equal parts. That is, let me split it into 10 to 21 range, another range as 20 to 30. Now is the class widths are same? Now can you check is the class widths are same? 0 to 10. So 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50, 50 to 60. Yes, the class widths are same. Now, sir, what frequency should I allot for both? You have split it into two parts. What is the frequencies to be given to class 1 and class 2? That means distribute equal frequencies to both the class. That means total frequencies is 30. Distribute equally to both. If I distribute equally to both, so your first class will have 30 frequencies and the next class will also have 30 frequencies. So instead of being biased, you can distribute it both equally. Now you have class interval and frequencies which is of equally class, equal range is there, and your frequent and your width is also same. Range or width both are one in the same. Therefore, now the problem is of equal class intervals. Now we can solve it easily. First step is to calculate the mid value. The mid value here is 0 to 10, that is 0 plus 10 by 2, that is nothing but 5. And the next mid value is 15. And the next mid value is 25. And the next mid value is 35. And the next mid value is 40 to 50 is nothing but 45. And the next mid value is 50 to 60 is 55. So this is the mid values. Now f is there, x is there. Can we calculate the class interval? Fx you can calculate. The fx will be, the first one fx is 10 to 5 is 50. 30 multiplied by 15. How much is 30 multiplied by 15? That is 450, I think. Is it 450? Okay. Then 30 multiplied by 25. What are the numbers? Do please calculate and tell. What are the numbers you get? Okay. 30 multiplied by 25, that is 750. The next number is 50 multiplied by 30, 1750. Okay, the next number is 40 multiplied by 45, it is 1800. The last number is 20 multiplied by 55, that is 1100. Now you got fx. Now the next step is add all the values of fx, that is sum of fx, that is equal to the sum of fx, that is summation fx is equals to 5900. 5900 is the sum of observation, that is 5900, and the number of observation, what is the total frequencies you have? The total frequencies is 60 plus 10, 70, 70 plus 50 plus 40 plus 20, that is equals to 180. So the total frequencies here is equals to 180. Yes, it is considered here. So now can you tell me the arithmetic mean? The arithmetic mean of the given set of observations is equals to 32.78. So 32.77 or 78. Was this answer given by you previously? If this was the answer, then it is absolutely correct. So you should know one important thing is, can we calculate arithmetic mean directly in case of unequal class intervals? Means the answer is no. Arithmetic mean cannot be directly calculated in case of unequal class intervals. That means what should I do? We need to split them into two equal parts. That is, we need to split the entire class width into two equal parts, then distribute the frequencies equally so that you are not biased in the nature. So after that, you can solve the problem. By solving it, you will get the arithmetic mean. So is it clear with you all? Okay. Okay. Now comes the next concept of combined arithmetic mean. Now, let me give a situation to you all. Now, the situation here is, let me give the situation. The situation here is, now there is a class. In that class, 100 students are there. How many students are there? 100 students are there. Out of that 100 students, 60 are boys. How many boys are there? There are 60 boys are there. Similarly, around out of 100, if 60 are boys, the rest will be girls in the nature. So out of 100, 60 are boys and 40 are girls. So this is the point one. Then what I have done here is, I have calculated arithmetic mean of boys. That is, arithmetic mean means average marks secured by the boys is calculated here. So arithmetic mean of the average marks of the boys is calculated. Let me consider that average marks is 70. Similarly, the average marks scored by the girls is also calculated. That is nothing but arithmetic mean of girls. So this is boys and this is girls. So we'll denote it with B and we'll denote it with G. Okay. So that is nothing but 65. So there are 60 students and we have calculated the arithmetic mean of the entire 60 students as 70. And similarly, there are 40 girls. For them, the average marks scored by them is 65. Now here the point of question what generally arises here is, when principal comes and asks, what is the average score Vijay, means that time I should be able to give answer. Will I tell, ma'am, out of boys average scores is 70 and the average score of girls is 65. Will I split and tell, or will I tell together? I need to say together. That means here I need to calculate here the combined arithmetic mean. So in this case, we need to calculate the overall result. So to calculate the overall result, I need to calculate combined arithmetic mean. That means I need to consider the average marks scored by boys and the average marks scored by girls together, by which I'll get certain thing called combined arithmetic mean. When you have two different datas, those two different datas together, what is the average? If you want to ascertain, we need to use something called combined arithmetic mean. Very simple how to calculate that. Very simple here. Number of boys is denoted as N1. That is first group of observation. How many observations are there in the group 1? So here under group 1, 60 observations are there. I am dividing this into two groups. That is group 1 and group 2. That is 60 boys are there. Similarly, arithmetic mean of the group 1 can be denoted as x1. That is x1 bar. So arithmetic mean of the first group can be denoted as x1 bar. Similar way, group 2 can be denoted as n2. Group 2 can be denoted as n2, and the arithmetic mean of group 2 can be denoted as x2 bar. So x2 bar is equals to, here it is 65 in the nature. So now we know the group 1 and group 2. Together I need to ascertain. So how to do this? Very simple. Product of the n1 with x1 bar, that is multiply this both. What is the product you get? That is the step 1. That is step 1 here is nothing but product 1 with x1 bar. Similar way, product of n2 with x2 bar. So what is the product you get? 60 multiplied by 70. How much is that? That is 4,200. Is it 4,200? Yes. So 4,200 is the first product. And the similar way, the next product, that is for n2 with the x2 bar. n2 with x2 bar, that is nothing but 2,600. So these are the products. Sum of the products. Step 2 is sum of the products. Step 2 is sum of the products. Can you tell me the total? 4,200 plus 2,600. The total is 6,800. That is the step 2. And step 3, how to calculate the arithmetic mean? Sum of observation divided by number of observation. The sum of observation is 6,800. So 6,800 divided by number of observation here is now not 60 nor 50. So the total observations is 100. So divide by 100, you will get the number. The number is 6,800 divided by 100. That is equal to 68. So 68 is the combined arithmetic mean. That means overall average of 100 students is 68 is the average marks. So this is how we calculate combined arithmetic mean. So the point of discussion here is, whenever two set of observations are given, for the two set of observations, if the arithmetic mean are also available for the two set of observations, in that circumstances, how to calculate the combined arithmetic mean? Very simple. Multiply the number of first group of number of observations with the respective arithmetic mean. Similar way, multiply the second group of observation with the arithmetic mean, respective arithmetic means. Now by multiplying, you will get the product. Sum of these two together, that will be your step 2 value. Now this number should be divided with the total observation. By dividing it, you will get the combined arithmetic mean. So in this case, the combined arithmetic mean is 68. Is this clear? You all understood? Now there is an illustration given to you all. Now you need to analyze this. You need to analyze this. An average daily wage of 10 workers in a factory A is rupees 30, and an average daily wage of 20 workers in factory B is 15. Find the average daily wages for the workers of both the factories. So here two groups are there. Yes or no? If you read the question, We can analyze the question. Under that question, there are two groups. That is factory A as well as another thing is factory B. Agreed or not? So there are two groups are there, factory A as well as factory B. Now, how many workers are there in factory A? You read the question. The average daily wage of the workers or wages of 10 workers. That means how many workers are there in factory A? 10 workers are there. So number of observations in first data is 10 observations are there. That is 10 workers are there. Similarly, how many workers are existing in the factory B? How many workers are there? If you read the question again clearly, an average daily wages of 20 workers. That means there are 20 workers in the, there are 20 workers here. So this is the point one, that is point one. Categorize how many workers are existing in factory A, similarly in factory B. Now the next thing is the average of the first data, that is average wage. What is the average wage? When you read the question, the average daily wage is 30, the given question for factory A. Similarly, for factory B, what is the average wage? The average wage here is 15. Is it clear? Yes. Now I need to calculate the combined arithmetic mean. Now first step is product. You need to find the product. Here is 10 multiplied by 30. What is the product? Yes, that is the 300 is the product. Similar way, 20 multiplied by 15. The product is, here also it is 300. Yes, okay. In both the cases, the product is 300. Now the next step, this is your step one. Find the product. So I have found the products. The products are like 10 multiplied by 30 is 300 and 20 multiplied by 15, that is also 300. That is your step one. And the step two is now here, sum up the both. That is when I sum up both, that is 300 plus 300, that is equals to 600 is the total value. So the total observations is equals to 600. Now the last step is, the last step, that is 600 divided by number of observations. So number of observations here is, number of observation is 10 in factory A and 20 in factory B. So total, that is 30 is the number of observations existing. So number of observations is 30. Number of observations is 30. That means your combined arithmetic mean in this case is equals to 0, 0 cancels, 3 1s are 320. So the overall average wage of both the factory A and factory B is 20 in the nature. So whatever number you calculate, that should lie between the average wage of factory A and factory B. If you observe, the factory A average wage is 30 and your factory B average wage is 15 and middle value. So in both the observations or in both the data, the middle value will be your arithmetic mean. Therefore, here the combined arithmetic mean in this case is 20. Is it clear? We understood? Okay. Now, weighted arithmetic mean. So this is all with respect of combined arithmetic mean. Now, I have another question to you in the combined arithmetic mean. See the question and try to answer it. Okay. Now, there is an SI selection is going on wherein physical tests have been conducted in 3 different places. So here, how many people like to get into police or like to get into army? Any are there here who wish to go into that? Nice, Chaitanya. Only one? Okay. Okay. So concentrate here. A physical tests are being conducted wherein we need to go around 400 meters of running race will be conducted. So the people should run as fast as possible. That is, they keep around 7 minutes time. So within 7 minutes, you have to reach something like that, or 100-meter race, wherein you have to cross the 100 meters within 50 seconds or something like that. So here the SI post physical test has been conducted in all three different places. Let me take the three different places are like Mysore and Mysore, then Bengaluru, and the next place is Mandya. Okay, so these are the three places. So now in place one, the number of people who have attended the physical test are like number of people who have attended the physical test, number of people is equals to 20. Assume 20 members are there. Similar way, the number of people who have attended here is 30. Similar way in Mandya, number of people who have attended is 50. Now, I have calculated the average speed of running by them in the 400 meters. Similar way in the or average time taken to complete that 400 meters relay. Okay, so the average time taken has been calculated. So the average time taken by the 20 people is here, it is 7 minutes 20 seconds. Now the people who are in the Bangalore, there is average time taken is, let me consider it as 8 minutes 10 seconds. Similar way, people in Mandya, what they have done is the average time taken is considered as 6.82 minutes. It is 6.21 seconds. So 6 minutes 21 seconds has been taken. Now they'll ask now the deputy commissioner of the entire police department is asking what is the overall average time taken by the people. So in this case, should I calculate combined arithmetic mean? Means the answer should be yes or no. That means here three different cities are given, that is Mysore, Bangalore and Mandya, and they have given the average time taken of three different places. Now they're asking the what is the overall average time taken. That means should we calculate combined arithmetic mean? Means the answer is yes, we need to calculate combined arithmetic mean. That means here, sir, till now we have discussed only two datas, but here it is three data. How to calculate combined arithmetic mean for three different data? Same concept how we did in the previous class or previous concept, the same way only. First step is to find the product. So here two observations are there. Find the product. So the product will be here. Number of observation is N1. Overall time taken average is Pramit, very good, 6.975. Let us discuss. So the product, what is the product? So the first one product is 7.2 multiplied by 20, that is 144. Okay. Second one, average time. Okay, 243. Okay. Not average time, see product. Second one product is 243. Next, the third one product is 310.5. Now this is your step one. Now step two is sum up all the observation. When I sum up, what is the total you get? 144 plus 243 plus 310.5. The sum is 697.5. divided by number of observations. So number of observation here is 50 plus 30 plus 20, that is 10. So the number of observation is 10. So divided by 10, that is equal to 6.975. Absolutely correct. Is it clear? We did not apply anywhere formula. There, even though there are formulas, we have not used formula, we have used directly, we have solved it. So try to solve this logic based only. Okay. Is it clear, students? Can we go to the next concept? Okay. Okay. Now the next is weighted arithmetic mean. So in weighted arithmetic mean, instead of index number, instead of frequencies, what they do is they give weights. That is nothing but generally this is used in generally we use this in index number. So see, instead of x and f, in all these cases frequencies were given x and f. So when x and f was given, we calculated arithmetic mean by multiplying f and x, that is fx, and the total frequency was added. Similar way, under weighted arithmetic mean, instead of frequencies, they'll be giving you weights of each observation. So weightage of each observations will be given x and w, and they ask you to calculate arithmetic mean. Same logic how we were doing for frequency distribution, same logic is applied here. X and w, so multiply both, that is wx, you will get. Then product of wx, the sum should be considered, and the total weights you will add. Both if you divide, you will get the arithmetic mean. See, generally weighted arithmetic mean, where they use is, that is in case of if you go to any companies for an interview, in that circumstances, what they do is priority basis. What they do, let me take, if you have done BCom, under that BCom, there are different papers. Paper 1, let me take an example. Paper 1 in first semester, paper 2, paper 3, paper 4, paper 5, paper 6 papers generally will be there. Paper 1 first will always be language, that is, let me take it as Kannada, or it might be other languages also. And paper 2 will be English, and paper 3 is financial accounting. Okay. Then paper 4, let me take it as max paper will be there, MTBD. And paper 5 is retail management, and paper 6 is marketing or retail management is done, Indian financial services, paper 6. Now when job recruitment is happening, what they do is they want to first what they need to do is they want to first eliminate certain people who have not good under the academical wise. So what they do is they retain certain people. So in this case, when screening is done, what they do is some people would have got good scores in languages, but they would have got less scores in core papers. So here BCom graduate will be getting a job of an accountant. That means here I need to prioritize, and my main weightage should be on core papers rather than language paper. Now if you are going to typist job, for typist job, what will be the core paper? For a typist job, what will be the core paper? Core paper will be, is it financial accounting or max, retail management, or Indian financial service, or Kannada and English? Or a typist, maximum core paper will be languages. Kannada and English is more important to them. Similarly, for a BCom holder or for an accountant job, the core paper will be like accounts, business mathematics, retail management, and IFS. So what we do is we assign weights, which is priority. First priority is accounts. So I'll assign weight for that. Overall 6 subjects are there. Out of that, first priority is accounts. I'll give 6 weightage to that. And the next is Indian financial service, you should be knowing. So I'll be giving the next weightage as 5 here. Similar way, retail management, that is marketing oriented, you should be knowing. Then mathematics will be the basis. Then English is also required. So 5, 4, 3. And here English is required, and the last weightage will be given to the language paper. So by this assigning weights to the respective marks secured by them, I'll calculate the weighted average, which will be completely different. See, what you do is you would have calculated your average marks. If you would have seen, you would have got distinction, you would have got first class, or you would have got second class. What you would have done, you would have added all the marks secured by yours with the number of subjects. 6 subjects are there. When you divide by 6 subjects, you will get the average score. So that will be your average percentage also. That is nothing but percentage you can calculate, and the average score is calculated. So here what we need to do is, whenever weights are assigned, why weights are assigned to screening, to do screening, and in case of recruitment process and all, they assign weightage by which is more prioritized can be categorized, which helps for decision making also. Therefore, when weights are assigned to the data, how to calculate arithmetic mean? Very simple. You will have observations. That is, observations will be there, and you know the weights. Same like instead of F, instead of frequency, W is given here. So multiply both. That is WX you will get. So when you sum up all that you will get the summation WX. Divide that with the number of weights. Total weights. If you divide, you'll be getting the weighted arithmetic mean. So instead of frequencies, when weights are given, we need to calculate weighted arithmetic mean. Generally, we use this in the index number. This is index number is also there in your syllabus, that we will discuss when we are discussing the index number. So this is all with respect of arithmetic mean oriented concepts. That is, we have discussed how to calculate arithmetic mean in raw data, discrete data, and continuous data. And in continuous data, if the continuous frequency distribution is of up lower cumulative frequency oriented, or if it is with more than cumulative frequency distribution, how to calculate arithmetic mean we have discussed. And now we have also discussed, if the class widths are unequal, how to calculate the arithmetic mean. And we have also discussed the combined arithmetic mean. Then we have also discussed another one concept, that is weighted arithmetic mean. Now here there are certain properties of arithmetic mean which is to be discussed. Please re-log in. Once you re-log in, we will discuss this. Okay, kindly re-log in.